Hello and welcome to a new edition of Business Insider. The fourth industrial revolution is a fusion of advances in artificial intelligence, robotics, what is called the Internet of Things, genetic engineering, quantum computing, and more. Synonymous with smart manufacturing, the fourth industrial revolution is the realization of the digital transformation of the field, delivering real-time decision-making, enhancing productivity, flexibility, and agility. It is supposed to help you manage and optimize all aspects of your manufacturing processes and supply chain. It gives you access to the real-time data and insights you need to make a smarter, faster decision about your business, which can ultimately boost the efficiency and profitability of business. This is what we'll be talking about in tonight's episode. We'll also be talking about the fourth industrial revolution in Egypt, and we know that Egypt has launched a strategy for the use of artificial intelligence in the industry and in various domains to help it achieve its sustainable development goals, as Egypt has formed the National Council for Artificial Intelligence, a partnership between governmental institutions, prominent academics and practitioners from leading businesses in the field of artificial intelligence. We'll also be talking about the role that AI and especially in the industry plays in the Egyptian economy, the sectors that use this the most, the jobs that can be benefit from the fourth industrial revolution, and the jobs that could be lost when the fifth industrial revolution comes. All of this with a very distinguished guest in a few minutes' time here on Business Insider. But first, let's take a look at our news for this episode. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has kept its forecast for the global economic growth for 2022 unchanged at 3.2%, according to the IMF's World Economic Outlook report issued on October the 11th. However, the International Financial Institution is expecting the global economic growth to slow to 2.7% in 2023, which is down by 0.2 percentage points from the July projection. Moreover, the report showed that more than a third of the global economy is likely to tumble in 2022 or 2023, with the world's three largest economies, the US, the EU, and China, expected to stall. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, along with the China slowdown and inflation globally, are behind those forecasts. In the meantime, the IMF has downgraded its forecast for Egypt's real gross domestic product GDP for fiscal year 2022-2023 to 4.4%, according again to the IMF's World Economic Outlook report issued on October the 11th. In its World Economic Outlook report issued on the 26th of July, the IMF had projected Egypt's real GDP growth for the fiscal year 2022-2023 to reach 4.8%. Moreover, the IMF's projection for Egypt's real GDP growth by fiscal year 2026-2027 has been set at 5.9%, according to the IMF's report. The World Bank's portfolio of development projects in Egypt amounted to around $6.8 billion in October, injected into 14 projects, according to an infographic released by the Ministry of International Cooperation. The portfolio includes $500 million food security project and another $400 million dedicated to developing a trade logistics line between Egypt between Cairo and Alexandria. The World Bank also allocated $900 million to boost social protection networks and $1 billion to a social housing project. The international institution's portfolio also included $500 million dedicated to a project supporting local development in Upper Egypt. Minister of Electricity Dr. Mohamed has followed up the ongoing works of the National Energy Control Center in the new administrative capital. According to a statement by the Ministry of Electricity yesterday, Shakir stressed that the construction works of the project are on track as scheduled while maintaining high quality and efficiency. The project is being carried out by the consortium comprised Siemens and Hassan Allam Construction at an investment cost of 840 million Egyptian pounds. The National Energy Control Center targets monitoring and operating the unified electricity grid across Egypt through a total of 228 stations, of which 72 are power generation stations of different resources with a capacity of 59.5 gigawatts. And the Central Bank of Egypt, the CBE, has announced that it drafted its financial inclusion strategy 2022-2025 to support financial inclusion in the Egyptian community and boost economic growth. This, according to the Middle East news agency MENA. The official agency said that the strategy was designed with a scientific approach based on a field survey of financial services conducted on a sample of individuals in small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. The financial inclusion strategy is based on 4 pillars: financial literacy, protection of customers' rights, diversity of banking and non-banking financial products, and the establishment of a work environment for SMEs, entrepreneurs, and digital financial services. Well, that is it for our news. We'll now be watching a report on the we'll be taking a short break and come back and introduce you to our distinguished guest here in the studio to start talking about the 4th Industrial Revolution and AI, or artificial intelligence, in the field of industry. Stay with us. Welcome back. With us now here in the studio is Dr. Mohamed Azzam, board member of the International Association of Management of Technology and Digital Transformation Consultant. Thank you very much, Dr. Azzam, for joining us.
Always a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Azzam. Great pleasure to have you with us. Allow us, Dr. Azzam, to watch a report about the 4th Industrial Revolution and the role of AI, or artificial intelligence, in it, and then come back and start our discussion. Please stay with us, dear viewers.
Artificial intelligence and specifically data-driven methods such as machine learning are a promising radical transformation of the economic and social systems worldwide. It helps people make better predictions and decisions. By the year 2030, artificial intelligence is forecast to add $15 trillion to the global economy. Currently, the artificial intelligence is one of the top priorities of policy agendas for most of the countries at both national and international levels. Many national government initiatives focus on using artificial intelligence applications for development and economic growth. In addition, artificial intelligence is one of the top priorities of the agendas of the international and regional organizations. Among many Egyptian strategies in artificial intelligence, Egypt has launched the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy to exploit such technology to attain the country's sustainable development goals, play a key role in facilitating regional regional cooperation within the African and Arab regions and establish Egypt as an active international player in artificial intelligence. This is within the framework of Egypt's keenness to embrace the digital era as advancements in technology continue to evolve every day. Moreover, the Egyptian Supreme Cybersecurity Council, reporting to the Cabinet of Ministers and chaired by the Minister of Communications and Information Technology, has launched the National Cybersecurity Strategy from 2017 to 2021, aiming to provide a safe and secure environment that would enable various sectors to deliver integrated e-services in line with the state's efforts to support national security and develop the Egyptian society. Meanwhile, the National E-Commerce Strategy was launched in December 2017 in cooperation with the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the main partner in the preparation of the National E-Commerce Strategy for Egypt. It entails a set of recommendations that support decision-making policies in key aspects of e-commerce and contribute to overcoming the challenges facing e-commerce in Egypt. Also, the Egyptian government Cloud strategy seeks to improve the efficiency and performance of the government. It enables the delivery of optimum value by increasing operational efficiency and responding faster to integral needs. The cloud model supports governmental agencies grappling with the need to provide highly rapid, reliable and innovative services despite resource constraints. Egypt has also increased universities and all kinds of education and courses that serve to push artificial intelligence in the country for the sake of development.
Thank you, Abir Hussein and Rasha Abdul Hamid, for this report. Back here in the studio with Dr. Mohamed Azzam, board member of the International Association of Management of Technology and Digital Transformation Consultant. Dr. Azzam, when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, I would like, please, for you to walk us through the first three industrial revolutions and just try to live history.
Thank you for this question. Actually, the first industrial revolution took place in late 18th century with the discovery of power of steam. And it was an inflection point in the history of mankind because we changed the economy and the society from the agriculture-based economy and society to the industrial-based economy and society.
That's when we saw trains, right?
Definitely, and we saw machines. We saw the concept of making a sort of mass production, having more utilization of technology for increasing the well-being of the community, and it has been really an inflection point in the history of mankind, as I mentioned, and this followed by the second industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution took place in England. The second industrial revolution took place almost a century later in the late 19th century, the early 20th century in the United States by the innovation of having what's called the assembly line. Assembly line that changed also the concept of industrialization and for having the mass production, having the cars for everyone.
The cars, yeah. The first thing that came to my mind is the cars.
It was invented by the
Ford.
Ford actually was, Henry Ford was the founder of the concept of mass production, and it changed the whole industrial process from being discrete to being centralized, and then having the ability to have the mass production. This will make a sort of abundance of goods and services and making things cheaper, affordable and attainable.
The third?
The third also was in the United States in the 1950s, and it was the information revolution. With the invention of computers, then the computers are connected together.
Would Japan be a partner?
Japan came later, actually,
Okay.
in this domain.
Yeah.
This kind of technology was invented and actually and implemented in the United States in 1950. Mainly, that's what created the Silicon Valley in the West Coast. And we, after this, we witnessed the mega companies that working from garage and becoming unicorns, and now these companies are valuated as a few $1 trillion, and their actually the revenue is more than the GDP of many countries. So it initiated another wave of development all over the world. And back to Europe in early 2000, in almost 2010 in Germany, the concept of the fourth industrial revolution was introduced in Germany for heavy utilization of technology in all aspects related to the value chain, starting from the raw material up to the end user, and the heavy utilization in the area of industrialization, the heavy utilization of robotics, the heavy utilization of sensors, the communication between things, what's called the Internet of Things, and becoming today we're having the industrial Internet of Things, the high-speed internet. Allowed all the systems and subsystems talk together, and having a totally different level of productivity and efficiency with respect to the quality and the quantity of products and services. And today we are witnessing the industry X.0, not X 4.0, because of the pace of the development. We cannot add numbers anymore, because the frequency or the pace of development is beyond
Scary.
Beyond imagination.
Yeah, indeed. And we're waiting for the fifth industrial
actually, it's becoming.
revolution.
That's why we replace it with X. So
Yeah.
it's fifth, sixth, seventh,
Yeah.
whatever the number is,
Okay.
because we'll witness very soon the super what's called intelligence, or the machine intelligence phenomena that machines are developing every second. Actually, the way the machine acts and the way we as human interacting with machines is becoming another thing that is beyond imagination, or scary, as you said.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's amazing how fast things are moving. The first industrial revolution must, to many people, or many traditional people at least, remain the dearest. I mean, the first is always, I mean, the most special. So you have here the heartlands of the revolutions, England, USA, Germany.
Exactly.
Russia must have been there all the time, catching up and always...
They're always leaders, and they're always followers. The beauty of the fourth industrial revolution, that now, because the world is totally connected, so there is a room for everyone to be part of the fourth industrial revolution, or beyond the fourth industrial revolution.
China and India must be
China, of
strong
course,
players.
China is doing a great job in this regards, because they launched what's called China 2025 to be #1 in the domain of artificial intelligence, and they are leading this domain. The future generation of telecom, like the 5G, and they are leading. The use of quantum mechanics, the electronics manufacturing. So actually, China is even suppressing the United States in some domains related to the high-tech domains. And they actually, in the area of artificial intelligence, a country like China spent like 20 billion over the last decade. And they invested billions in startups. And some of these startups are American startups or based in US. That's why artificial intelligence is becoming part of the trade war between the United States and China, actually.
Dr. Azzam caught my attention when I was reading about artificial intelligence, something called weak AI. What is weak AI? I mean, some definitions said that it enables machines to perform certain carefully defined tasks by giving them narrow sets of human-like abilities. Can you talk to us about that against scary progress, if you will, in that regard? Human-like abilities?
Actually, as you mentioned, it's we have two different types of technology. We have the positive side of the technology. Of course, they are witnessing every day. Now, the domain of AI is almost embedded in every aspect and every domain around us. That include the agriculture, the healthcare system, the industrial sector, the service sector, the transportation, the logistics. And there is always a bad or another side that we should look on it, fusing the technology. That's why actually part of the Egyptian strategy for AI is the international cooperation is concerned about defining a code of ethics for development AI, because
very important.
it's very important actually, because the utilization of AI could be used in different scary or dark domains actually. When it comes to human trafficking, or when it comes to money laundering, to avoiding taxes, to be used in terrorism activities. It could be used in building very lethal unmanned weapons. That is another thing. That's why Egypt is one of the countries that are lobbying for defining code of ethics, and we should have a sort of a framework that have a sort of governance of the AI development, because it's totally unleashed power. It's totally uncontrolled, and the pace of development in this domain is like 10x of the pace of development in any advanced technological domains.
And it's going to be very important for the international community to agree on that set of or code of ethics, because I'm sure that there will be differences anyway.
Definitely, that's why we need. Because it's a new thing, actually. It's something has been there for the last decade, and today we need to have a sort of a framework that defines what's right, what's wrong.
But I'm sure there will be a big area of an intersection, a big intersection of agreement. Sure, Dr. Azzam, allow us to take this phone call with Dr. Khalid Youssef, Professor of Navigation Science and Space Technology at Beni Suef University, to give us his input on artificial intelligence in his field of industries and science specifically. Thank you very much, Dr. Youssef, for joining us. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, and thank you so much for pleasure being here with you today on the
pleasure is ours. Dr. Youssef, could you tell us about the role of artificial intelligence in your field, sir? I mean, a very vital field, navigation science and space technology.
Yeah, actually, the artificial intelligence, as you kindly explained, you kind guess that it's the main power today for the area of the cognition of the machines and cognition of things in general. So today we have everything around us is cognitive enough to first understand and act based on a kind of intelligence that we call it the artificial intelligence or the machine learning, which is the ability of everything around us, which is not a living thing, living organisms, to understand, to be decisive or smart enough to take the right actions according to the learning that is gaining with time. On the space perspective, actually, and the next generation of technology in general, the space today is depending on artificial intelligence in a lot of aspects that we have today, either in the spacecraft and the technology that we are using from the space to ensure a good living life on Earth, because we say usually that space is not for space, space is for Earth. And also for the missions that we, big agencies today, big space agencies, is adopting to invade some key points in the space to give us more insights on the external universe that we don't have any insight on today. For the artificial intelligence, the big rule, to depend more on the machine to understand what is happening and to do some analysis that we took a lot of time before to do this analysis. So, for example, on remote sensing side, we today use the remote sensing technology. The remote sensing generally was the ability to sense in a non-invasive way from a remote position to find some observations on some phenomena, like the agriculture, like the climate, like even the warming effect on Earth. All of that today we are using remote sensing techniques to see, for example, the ocean, the increase in the height of the ocean level as a result of the warming effect and the carbon dioxide footprint, and thus govern the eco-sustainability. Using the machine learning and using a network of satellites in the space, now we can estimate and understand what is happening, what is the increase in the sea level, how could we make sure that there is a clear relationship between this effect or this impact on one side and the causes of this impact on the other side. So we need some sort of power in this spacecraft to learn, to understand, to be more cognitive, to comprehend what is happening, and then propose for us the right action to do. That's a big rule for the artificial intelligence today. Everything around us, besides that, like the agriculture, giving the plant the capability to understand and estimate what is needed from water and from key fertilizers to make sure that we are using the water in a proper way. And we all know the importance of the water file for every part in the world, especially in Egypt today. Now the artificial intelligence can play this role for us and help us doing the things in a better way. The robots, everything now is the key brain and the need for learning from situations, from accidents, taking this into consideration. It's a big paradigm shift in science today using the artificial intelligence capabilities.
Indeed, beautifully explained, Dr. Youssef. May I ask you just a very quick second question, please? The first time when I was reading about the first, second, and third and fourth industrial revolution, the date that was officially put for the third was 1969. And it must be no coincidence that that's the first time man set foot on the moon. Now, you're the professor of space technology. So if we're talking now fourth industrial revolution, Dr. Azzam here in the studio says, I mean, things are going so fast exponentially that we're not going to be saying fifth or sixth later on, but I mean, it's 0 or X. So where do you, as, space technology professors, where do you expect to set foot on if we are going to the Xth industrial revolution? Because in the third, we were on the moon. So that's actually, it's the Industry 4 revolution today, which is, let's say, what is the fourth generation of technology that we are having today in terms of not only in the industrial or manufacturing area, but also in energy area, in the agriculture area. So the revolution that we have today is just the collaboration effect of having a lot of technologies around us, like the IoT technology, the artificial intelligence, the deep learning, the machine learning. All of these technologies today are used to ensure what we call the Industry 4 technologies, which is the capability of the elements of the industry to communicate together and to understand what is happening for better management and efficient operation of the processes that we have for the industries for us. Everything now needs to be connected. So one of the main important pillars that space can add to this connectivity is the connectivity through the space to make sure that for rural areas and the deserts and areas this far, and we don't have a coverage like the 3G, 4G coverage, we need a connectivity to make sure that these elements and sensors and technologies for example, the oil and the gas industry, for the agriculture industry. Yes. Dr. Youssef, we are really enjoying your your speech, but unfortunately time is up. I hope that you can come to us here in the studio on a date of your choice, of course, and talk to us about and give us your informative knowledge, please. Here, I think. Thank you, Dr. Youssef. Thank you, Dr. Khalid Youssef, the professor of space technology, navigation sciences, space technology at Beni Suef University. Back here in the studio with Dr. Mohamed Azzam and the board member of the International Association of Management of Technology, and also the digital transformation consultant. Dr. Azzam, revolutions means that some jobs will benefit, some jobs will vanish.
Disappear.
Yeah, so
disappear.
Yeah.
Technology always is altering jobs. There are always new jobs that needs new skills. Even back to the first industrial revolution, when the community and society moved from the agriculture-based things to the industrial-based things, people had to gain new skills, new capabilities. It has been always like this. So there is a report that 49% of the jobs that we are knowing today will not be there within 20 years. That's why there's the most important skill now that I know how to learn, to have a sort of ongoing training, to have a sort of ongoing comprehending the new
changes,
knowledge sets.
Yeah.
I need to have the ability to get into the new advanced skills that I need for the future jobs that based on human-machine interaction. So I will need a doctor that's capable to deal with robotics. I need with a farmer that is capable to work with Internet of Things and sensors and using drones for monitoring crops. I need a teacher is capable to understand the basics of the programming languages, to teach the kids how to program, how to build the code. The new era is totally different, and the technology has been always changing things for the betterment, for the making life easier, for improving the quality of life for people. So what I need is to keep abreast of things. I need to have the ability to gain quickly, swiftly, new skill sets. Few years ago, a decade ago, or more than a decade ago, if I need to gain a new set of skills, I might take a year or two. Now I have to get the new sets of skills within weeks. So we need to have a sort of a different mindset for the generations to come and for families as well, to understand that technology is keeping changing and that technology is enforcing new business models, enforcing new jobs, enforcing a new way of conducting things, and everything can be automated, will be automated. So we need to have this in mind when we are planning for our future, for if we are planning to join a line of business or joining a line of education, that everything can be automated, will be automated.
Dr. Azzam, final question, because unfortunately we ran out of time so quickly. I don't know, things are happening so fast, just like what's happening with the industrial revolutions. We know that fields like transportation or healthcare or medicine, of course, finance, food tech, these are important areas for AI. How do you see AI's progress in the industry in Egypt, and especially in these domains?
Thank you for this question. I think we having the brains. This industry is based on brains, and we have brilliant startups in the domain of artificial intelligence and the application of artificial intelligence. Back to the strategy.
Yes.
There is a pillar for AI for development. And there's a room for a lot of startups to do business with the government of Egypt, and many mega projects are taking place in domains of the smart transportation, in domains of the smart agriculture, smart healthcare, smart financing. There is always a room, and we've seen and we are witnessing a lot of startups are coming in this domain. Actually, one of Egyptian startups was listed in Forbes 30 under 30 last week. And
beautiful.
This company is a startup that teaching youngsters how to build application using AI. So this is a huge potential, because we have brilliant brains and we have strategy, we have the support, and we have not only the political or the technical support, but also the financial support to be, now we have many funds that could speed up the progress of developing startups in this specific high-tech domains. And
very good to hear, sir. Very
definitely,
good to hear.
The ecosystem, the landscape has been changed for the last 8 years, definitely for the betterment of the ecosystem. Last year, we had the opportunity as Egyptian startups to get like what I say, $500 million investment. This year, I think this number will be doubled. This number is in like 80 startups working in the high-tech domain. So the future is there, and we have the determination to be there as well.
Very good to hear. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohamed Azzam, board member of the International Association of Management of Technology and digital transformation consultant. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you for your informative, for the information that you gave us and for the knowledge that you shared with us. Thank you, Dr. Azzam.
Always a pleasure and honor being with you. Thank you.
Honor is ours, sir. Dear viewers, thank you for watching Business Insider. Next week, same time, a new episode. Till then, please stay with Nile TV International. Have all the best and goodbye.